Welcome to Rhinos and Aliens.
I try, man. I try. My wife has me on a great skincare regimen.
Oh, you're on that Charlemagne skincare regimen.
I don't know what she made something. She be having me do a whole lot before sleep and in the morning. A little bit.
Well, in this case, fat never hurts the aging process.
For sure. Welcome, Rhinos and Aliens, to the Rhinos and Aliens show. This is episode 142 of the number one podcast in Western New York, and you know what it is.
Sexy, bro. Sexy. Now, just so you guys know, as we did a year back with Zaina and Danielle, as well as Francis, we're doing a personal interview for James Armstrong Grice because he was one of the He is one of the OGs, and he is technically the ambassador of Rhinos and Aliens. So we only think it's fair if we're going to ask people who come on the show certain questions, we better be able to answer the questions we ask.
Definitely.
Isn't that fair?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. If we're going to ask you the questions, just like work, I wouldn't ask you to do anything I wouldn't do myself, so.
Even though most people don't follow that motto.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree. No, it's the same thing getting typical Rhinos and Aliens sexual.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to do something, is it truly fair for you to ask your partner to do the thing to you?
That's true. That's true. Yeah, you got a point.
Okay, so first things first, bro. Introduce yourself.
All right, so James, aka Doobie, aka Agent Doobie White. You know what I'm saying?
By the way, the last nickname we just came up with right before the episode.
Agent Doobie White. It's gonna be my gamer tag. I'm gonna trademark it, so don't take it.
No, that's fire, bro. And you know what's so funny? That could come off. I could picture that name in a comedy or legit in a James Bond, and I feel like it would match both ways.
Yeah, I want Kevin Hart to play me in my in my autobiography, in my life.
I would say he would be the man. What did I always say in high school? You two had very similar atmospheres.
Yeah, I'm just taller.
And more light skin.
Yeah, and cuter.
Okay, so if nobody knows, you have officially finished your 4-year contract.
Yep, officially out the Navy.
Yes, and it's been a few months.
Yeah.
How have you been? How is life now different? Like, where is your mindset in terms of, I'm actually, quote unquote, a normal citizen again?
It's weird. It's weird, dude. To be honest with you, doing 3 years in Japan and then coming to the States, it's ghetto. It's ghetto. It's ghetto. It's a lot of things that I take for granted that I had the privilege of having in Japan, that when you come back to the States, you see that it's not as luxurious. So, that over there they take care of the land because it's what they got. Here it's like they don't really respect it for what it is.
Oh, how are their bathrooms? Because I know one of the biggest differences in a lot of cultures compared to America, it might seem stupid or it might seem minor, but just like so many European countries, you go into a public bathroom and it looks like a personal bathroom in a $1 million mansion.
Okay, so yeah, sometimes. And then sometimes you get the ones where it's like,
okay,
it's the hole in the ground. Like, it's literally, you got to squat over it.
To be fair, I said most.
Yeah,
European.
like some of them you got to squat over, but it is what it is. Yeah, no. I actually used the bidet for the first time over there.
Fan? Yay or nay?
Yay, for sure. Yay. I'm a fan. I definitely want one in the house.
See, bro, you know what's so funny, too? You know what? Okay, as you've known me ever since 5th grade, you've known that Francis has been an ass man.
Yeah.
But what turned Francis into a true ass man, meaning he is down for the get down of all butt play, was when he went to Europe one time and experienced the bidet. Ever since then, that's when he became a true fan.
It's an experience, bro. Like, you can change the temperature to the water and everything. Like, it's different.
You had a fancy one then.
Yeah, it's different, bro. It's different. But hey, man, you feel real refreshing after that. It's real refreshing.
The best way to describe it, it's as you ever take a shower and then your body wants to say, "I'm going to fuck with you today," and you have to take a shit after the shower. If you have a bidet, that's your butthole shower. It's all good.
Yeah. Plus, some people wipe and they don't wipe right. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't get it all.
That's if some people even wipe. I know some nasty.
Hey, listen, I've seen a lot of people walk out without washing their hands, so I know they probably didn't wipe. Like, to keep it honest.
Okay, so just how have you been?
I've been great, man. Just been enjoying my wife. Our time together.
Yeah.
Getting to learn each other still. It's dope.
In which aspect?
Mentally, I get to learn her, what makes her tick, the good things, the bad things, things that I do that irritate her maybe, things that I can change just to make, her life easier. And like physically, as far as, making her feel comfortable or even pleasure wise, like the body in general is crazy.
I would make the case you can always learn new aspects of that.
And she, I'm not afraid now. I'm not afraid as a man to ask her what she likes. Because that's a big factor. Like, you need to know, hey, do you like this?
And sometimes the physical signs aren't there to where this is a yay or nay situation.
So, yeah, definitely want her to feel comfortable.
I hope 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, that answer is the same.
Yeah.
Because one of the big, I don't know if you know, if I've said this to you, one of my big mottos for the past couple years now has been, if you're not growing, you're dying in every aspect. So especially if you're in a relationship, whatever the relationship is, let alone romantic relationship.
Right.
If you're not on average growing with that person every day, then you are eventually setting yourself up for failure.
Right, because what are you doing?
Exactly. And when you think about it, when a lot of relationships go downhill, that is no different than when a life goes downhill and it starts to die. Mm-hmm. And what are the main reasons for most deaths that are natural? There's no reason to live on. So,
yeah. Hey,
if you got purpose,
I always tell people, like, if you got a partner in life, you need to know that person. Like, and things change. Your mindset could change at any time. Anything can affect how you feel, and it's important to just sit down and talk to each other because communication is everything.
And compromise too.
Yeah, because it took me a while to actually open up. Because being a manly man, how we're brought up to be, we don't express our feelings a lot, and we hold a lot of that stuff in, and that's a hindrance to the relationship. Because if she wants to know what's going on with me and I just keep saying I don't know or I'm fine, we're not going to get anywhere. So I definitely try to make it, my priority to ask her what's going on and make sure that I know what I can do to make everything better.
And that sounds like a man who wants the relationship to succeed.
Yeah, man. But I love this girl to death.
I can see that.
Anybody that can get me to wear a ring, because I don't like wearing jewelry, is for sure. Yeah.
Well, my pessimistic side. Hopefully, the one it appears to be.
Yeah.
Because we never truly know. We as humans love to be confident, and sometimes our willingness to not budge is almost a hindrance.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you definitely gotta be willing to be vulnerable.
in the right moments.
Yeah.
Because I would make the case that now it's so weird because I feel now people are there's no in the middle. There's two extremes now because it's almost like the political system to where you're either one way or the other.
Right.
Because there's more men than ever that are sensitive, but they're really sensitive.
Right. I mean, because I'm a man's man. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm my woman's man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A happy what makes a happy what?
A happy wife makes a happy life.
Exactly. No, but what I'm trying to say is from what I can see, it seems like you're a great example of equilibrium to where, James, you are a man. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But you're finding ways to where you could be open just enough to where you can make a perfect, quote unquote, relationship. Because no matter what, a woman is never going to be her truest or happiest self in a marriage if the man is always closed out and is the most manly man.
Right, and that's how you get left.
But at the same time, you can't be too sensitive because eventually a woman is going to want a man to, quote unquote, put her in her place. Like, okay.
I mean, so you have to know when to be
considerate and
dominant, dominant and submissive at the same, when it comes.
But that's getting to know your partner.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with a woman. A man doesn't want a woman to be submissive 100% of the time.
Oh, no, yeah.
Even the most dominant man doesn't want a 100% submissive woman. Because it's whenever anything is 100% and this is how it's going to play out, what is that, bro? It's boring.
It becomes predictable.
Yeah. Okay, so we somewhat hit up on this in the past 2 episodes you were on for RAS. We talked about your military life, but I want to get more so into the aspect of how did you come across your future wife? How did it transition in the military? Mm-hmm. And then how did it turn into what appears to be such a beautiful flower?
So we're already friends on the boat.
Okay.
And I always had a crush on her. I would flirt with her.
She's a cutie, so
yeah. But I'm like very flirtatious, so like
extremely.
I would talk to her and I would say like, "What's up, beautiful?" or "How you doing, gorgeous?" or something like that. Every day.
But you low key meant it, but you were also just being
me.
Yeah.
Right. But I meant it to her. But I felt like, my thing has always been like, I feel like every woman should be told that she's beautiful every day. She at least hear that every day. So I take it upon myself to do it. But
if they're beautiful, and when I say beautiful, I don't mean just physically. If they have a beautiful
personality,
yes.
Regardless,
I agree.
And I try to do that. So like, I would do that on the ship to most of the so she didn't take me seriously.
Which she shouldn't have.
Right. She didn't take me seriously, but she's the only one I was serious about.
No, I know exactly. Well, almost like high school. You remember with Bree? You would technically tell a lot of women, "What's up, sexy?" or whatever. Like, I remember you would always tell Miss T and in the teachers... but that's you.
Yeah.
But then to certain women, like specifically at the time, Brianna, before you guys were serious, mm-hmm. when you said that to her, when you guys walked past each other, you meant that shit.
Yeah, I meant it.
Yeah. But since you're so flirtatious, it's hard to decipher
who it's meant for.
Yes.
Yeah. So she didn't really get it as to like me putting it out. So that whole time we were friends, we never pursued anything because I never took the step to actually ask her out
or emphasize
that she's the one I'm crushing on.
Yes.
So yeah, and then I finally, actually, my my brother Sam, threw a party at his house.
Okay.
And you know me, I'm not really much of a partier, so like,
You go more so for the vibes.
yeah, so like people invite me to places, and if I'm not going, I'm gonna tell you I'm not gonna go. So he invited me to the party, and I
Bro,
was like,
you're
yeah,
so stark.
I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm coming, right?
Oh wow!
I
So
told
this
him, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna come. Like, I don't really feel like doing anything,
this
right?
is the movie moment.
Yeah, no, for real, bro. So I'm like, I don't think I'm coming. I just don't feel like getting out. And he was like, because he knew about my crush on Dez, and
Okay.
he was like, no, he's like, Dez gonna be there, and I was like, all right, I'm getting dressed. So I got dressed and went to the party, and we had a great time. We were drinking, listening to music, dancing,
Real quick,
and
I know he's actually your bro because he used her as a reason for you to go to the party.
yeah, he tricked me. He was like, yeah, you gotta come. So I was like, I went to the party. We started dancing. We clicked, and from there it just blossomed and went on a date. Started dating and everything. From there it just went on, and then one day looked up and I was spending 2 hours in a ring store looking for a ring to propose.
Which what ultimately said that's the ring for her? What thought came across your mind? What image,
Um,
shape?
so the ring I got her was had like the stones formed a circle.
Okay.
Then it was like three stones or whatever, and like the center stone was like a big circle with like made out of other stones. And for me, it was a symbol of like, yeah, we had hard times, but for essentially, this is us, and it's a circle is
A full circle.
yeah, a circle is you can't it's not a break in the circle.
Unbreakable.
Yeah, so I feel like we have an unbreakable bond because no matter what we've been through, we got through it.
I respect that.
And then the wedding ring, she chose whatever she wanted. Because the engagement ring, of course, you're not supposed to
Hell
show.
no.
You're
No.
not supposed to show her.
No input.
Yeah, no input. So that's all you. So I was in there asking ladies, like, like, what ring do you think? And the one lady was like, you should get this pear-shaped ring, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, she ain't gonna like that. Right?
Yeah.
Her wedding ring is a pear shape because she likes it a lot. That's like one of her favorite shapes for rings.
That's so weird.
Yeah, I didn't. So that lady knew what she was talking about.
That was either the most lucky guess or
Yeah, it
women
was.
in pairs.
I don't know, but it's a beautiful ring.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah,
So you low key mentioned this in one of the previous episodes. You would say that she's the best aspect of your experience in the military, right?
yeah, yep.
Give me.
That's the best thing I could have got out of the military.
You know, it's crazy though. As we were just talking about off camera, the military relationships that get past that beginning stage are normally the strongest
Yeah,
because both people understand the military life, and if you understand the military life, life itself is a lot easier overall in terms of what you appreciate. In terms of
yeah. You take a lot of things for granted, being just a regular civilian.
you know me, I experience a lot of life through other things, other people. So through you, and ever since you've been in the military, I've really watched a lot of war films and television. So
Okay.
I've just been trying to put myself in the mindset. And I know this isn't a common thing, but I try to imagine what my life would be like and just not better situations, but worse.
Right.
And yo, we don't live in Flinton, Michigan, bro. We have fresh. It might seem stupid because we're a first world country and stuff, but just the concept, if you have to get tap water, if you're not a conspiracy theorist, you can have viable water that is not only not killing you, but it's benefiting you. It's helping you grow.
Yeah.
And it's just small stuff like that I really appreciate. I appreciate the fact that we make enough money if we want to. We could go get food whenever we want. People don't realize being able to just go to, even if it's fast food.
Like right now,
What?
if we was to leave, we could go get some McDonald's or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or technically, we're so privileged we don't even have to. We could do DoorDash or any of those. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it just, every time I would hit you up and say, I appreciate you or thank you, I honor you. I really meant that because in those were the moments where I really was getting deep in thought and was thinking, yo, as much, it comes down to the police thing. People always say they don't like these people, yet if it wasn't for these people, you wouldn't have the situation you have.
Right.
And as much as people don't want to think about it, we as individuals are very animalistic. And what gives us as a society order, as much as some laws are corrupt, is the law itself.
Right. Yeah. No. I don't get how people could be like, let's disband the police and stuff like that. Like, I understand the situations at hand, yet the police are there for a reason.
Well, I try to make it bigger than the police now. I started comparing it to the military.
Okay.
You take away our U.S. military. Would China and Russia not even consider invading us? Like, legit, if overnight the United States of America no longer had its military, for whatever reason, Infinity War happened and Thanos just wiped all of U.S. military out.
Okay.
Right? Would a country in the Middle East that it does not like the U.S., would they not bomb us?
I'm sure they would.
Would China or North Korea not try to invade us? The reason why America is as safe as it is, as much as people don't want to admit it, is the simple fact we have, both in terms of quantity, quality, and budget, the number one military in the world. And it's not even close. And we both feel the same way that maybe too much money goes into certain aspects, but overall, we are in this situation because we have such safety.
Some of them get treated better, though. For real. Some countries, their military and navies especially get treated better than the U.S.
Just because I said we have better numbers and we have better tech doesn't mean better quality of life.
Like, shout out to my brothers who want beards. I understand the struggle because every other navy is allowed to have a beard except us.
America has been on this massive trend about equality, right? So why is it the women either could have hair down to their shoulders or in buns, but men have to get a buzz cut? What's up with that?
No idea.
Just
idea.
On principle perspective.
Yeah.
Hypocrisy.
Dude, it's ridiculous. And then, like, I don't want to say to put race into it, but they don't take into consideration the different hair types when it comes to buns and, ponytails, because curly hair you can't just put into a bun like that because it's gonna damage it, and then it's gonna mess you up in the long term.
Or it might not damage depending on the curly hair, but it's going to fuck up the later processes of getting it out of the bun.
Right.
In terms of just,
they don't understand. I like to say that the people who make these
are basic.
Yeah.
I would say basic in terms of
basic, or either don't have the luxury of being able to have the hair types or be able to grow a beard.
It's almost like being a hitter.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to say because you see it every day, and I've been through it.
You're no longer serving yourself. Mm-hmm. You're serving a higher cause, quote unquote. So it's maybe if you were active, I would agree more. But like the fact it's for everybody, active, reserve, even if you're not like literally military trained, you're they're called arts, to where it's civilian. You're just military trained.
Yeah.
That's where the black and white aspect of the army or the military really is just.
Yeah, and I think they put too much emphasis on how you look instead of the
character.
The character and the product that you put up. Like your effort, you know what I'm saying? Because I could go in and get yelled at because my boots aren't as shiny as they would want them to be,
but you're the best soldier in that area,
right? But I'm the top tech that you got. So what does it matter? Like, if I have shiny boots, that means that I'm not doing my job right. Like, if my boots aren't shiny, I'm not doing my job right.
Well, it's so weird too because for the troops, the fodder, whatever word you want to use, they try to create this concept of legit equity where everybody's the same. Yet the moment you start getting in rankings, nobody's the same. So I've never, no matter the military, no matter corporate, social gatherings, I never liked that concept when people try to create an environment of equity, especially coming from a person who's in a higher position.
Yeah.
And then in those similar positions of higher rank, there's no equity whatsoever.
Right.
So you're trying to create an environment of equity when you know even at your position, it's not possible. And it really should. If somebody is the better sniper, right?
Right.
You're going to give him more leeway of what, like, for example, if he takes less time to make his uniform look nice because he's putting that extra time into being the best sniper he could be.
Right. Dude, it beats me. I'm tired of it. Like, it didn't, for me, it's like, I don't see how the price, like, the pay difference between enlisted to officer is. Like, I understand officer, yeah, they got their degree. You know what I'm saying? Understandable. They should get their due.
Bro,
right?
When I looked it up, the difference is basically
it's disgusting.
Double.
Yeah. And it's like, so you're going to give this brand new officer, this 01, twice as much as you're giving, let's say, E3 or E4 that's been in for a while.
Well, I compared the things. You would have to be a E5 with 2+ years of experience to make as much as a circle one, whatever it is.
Officer.
Yeah. Officer 1 with no experience.
Mm-hmm.
As I agree with you, but as bad as that sounds, corporate companies, bro, the difference is even worse. For example, Tesla, right? So the equivalence of a soldier is a production associate.
Okay.
Base pay is $17, which equates to $36,000 a year.
Okay.
The equivalence of a position at Tesla compared to the Army is a supervisor. You know what their base pay is?
What?
$100K.
Yeah. See, like, and then
so as bad as 2-fold sounds, just imagine if the officer was getting paid 3.5-fold. And at least in the military, you have to have requirements to be an officer. At Tesla, at least at Tesla, right? You technically don't need experience. You technically don't need a degree. If you have those things, the likelihood of becoming a supervisor is more likely. You just had
that time,
the timing, or you knew the right person.
Dude. Yeah, but still, it's like
principle. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, and then this enlisted person knows way more than this officer does.
Theoretically.
But the officer's in charge. Fortunately, I've been lucky enough to have officers that aren't arrogant and are willing
imbeciles.
Right, and are willing to learn and lean on that enlisted personnel for help.
Well, that's what they should do.
Right. Luckily, I've been blessed with those, you know what I'm saying?
You are lucky.
But if I would have got the other ones, then it probably would have been a problem.
Well, to be fair, too, I think you were so lucky to get good officers. You did score high.
I think they were lucky to have me. That's what I would say.
Well, I'm saying from what your conscience has experienced himself,
Yeah.
the better you do in pre-examination, I get the vibe they're willing to put you with better groups and better officers. Because vice versa, like you said, the officers want the best recruits. So if they see, oh, this James Armstrong guy scored an 87 on his...
But they don't see that.
They don't?
No.
So,
Like, they don't know all that until after they meet you and they, like, actually have to go look it up.
also, after you've already been assigned.
Yeah, after you got to your ship or after you've been to your duty station. Then they find that out. Or if they looked you up before you got there. But none of that stuff really matters. Once they give you whatever job or you qualify for, that's pretty much all that exam is for.
Maybe the recruits pointed you in the right direction?
No, I just
recruiter?
think I was just lucky enough to get officers or people coming out of the training or coming out of school that became officers. I was just lucky enough to have some great people who understand that
they were great individuals,
right?
So
and they understand that enlisted personnel are people as well, and we're not below you. You're not better than us, and we're not better than you.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, like your job relies on us, and vice versa.
I was trying to give the military. I was trying to help them out.
I feel you.
We're gonna start off spicy then.
Okay.
How do you feel about lubrication in terms of masturbation?
When it's necessary. It's necessary. Only for the simple fact that
That's like giggle, bro.
Because I don't masturbate anymore. I don't have to. But like when I did, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
it makes it feel a lot better.
Put your little brag out there.
No, I'm just saying, when you're married, you ain't got to masturbate no more. You know
Hopefully.
If you married the right one, you don't got to masturbate no more.
Okay, well, that's a big...
But it is essential, I would say.
Lubrication is?
Yeah.
What lubrication did you go for?
So I would only do it in the shower. Easy cleanup.
Oh, so water was your lubrication.
So, well, not necessarily.
Oh,
it'd be like something like extra sensitive type of like soap.
Oh, so
because
you were...
I don't want to dry my skin out.
You were
I was very, very protective of myself. I had to make sure I wasn't drying my skin out.
But bro, it's so funny. You were doing a double whammy. You were being pleasured and
I was cleaning myself at the same time.
Yo, which soap were you using? Were you using like those lotion based soaps?
No, it'd be like the
moisturizers.
Dove is like the best, like the women's Dove type lotion.
So moisturizers.
Yeah.
Dove
like the one with like the cocoa butter. That's the best one.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah. So my skin is so flawless.
Okay, so a follow up. Did you ever have to go without the lube, or if you did not have lube,
like raw dog it?
Yes. I never heard it put that way.
I don't know. Probably when I was like younger and didn't, discover the Dove.
Okay, so once you discovered Dove, if you had no Dove, would you just say, "Oh, fuck this, I'm not doing it"? Or would your...
I wouldn't substitute it with a different. If that's what you're asking,
No,
like,
no,
I wouldn't use a different soap, like whatever other soap.
would
I
you go
had.
raw then, or would you just say I'm
No,
gonna hold it out?
I just wait until I
Oh.
go buy some soap.
Oh, so you're... Yo, I just find this so fascinating.
Yeah, I'd wait.
Okay. All right, cool. That's something I did not know about you. So I learned something new today.
Yep.
What are your long-term goals?
Well, it was marriage. Well, actually, no. I take that back. It wasn't. Until I met her, I hadn't really considered marriage.
Well, I would say finding a loved one. It wasn't marriage.
I wanted to definitely be a bachelor at first, but then I realized that that's not what I wanted.
True. That was almost your fake persona when not thinking about it.
Yeah, I wanted to be a bachelor my whole life. Remember that? That was like my go-to thing. No.
It was almost, you know how people, they get in an awkward situation and they fall back on something?
Yeah.
No matter the situation, you could always fall back, oh, I'm a bachelor.
Yeah.
But your confidence was so real that I feel if you were wearing the clothes and you were in the environment and a woman came over and asked you, what do you do? And you're just not in it, you would just say, oh, I'm a bachelor. But you would be so smooth and she was like, oh, okay. I got a room in 343. You're like, okay.
And I'll be like, yeah, I got my own house. Yeah,
we segue.
You know, I wanna create generational wealth for my wife and my kids whenever they come along, and you know, I want to be able to not worry about money anymore. You know, and I just want us to have own our own property and be able to just live how we want to and travel whenever we want to, without, in a sense, without me having to work and without her having to work, which is not going to happen because we both like to work because we get bored. But
the principle of the concept itself,
it'd be us working essentially for the fun of it and not because we have to.
Or to go off of your mindset, yes, you're going to be working, but whenever you do want to take that vacation,
we could just do it.
And even if they say, "Oh, you don't have vacation time," you're going, because you have the money. So you're not doing this for the money; you're doing it for the experience or the time or whatever it is.
Just to pass time because we don't want to sit in the house.
You know what's so crazy? I feel you and Francis always had this mindset subconsciously, but it was just never present in the conscience. Right. And then in two completely different manners, you guys took the two complete opposite forks, but
ended up in the same path.
Because it's so crazy. Everything you just said, that has been Francis's mindset ever since Corona, bro. And it's so sad because ever since March of 2020, I would say he would make the case his life has been worse besides one thing. The mindset of, as we call it, generational wealth. The mindset of you don't have to rely on somebody else in terms of a corporation, you know? And that's beautiful, bro.
Yeah, and I don't want to have to answer to nobody. Which I'm married, so I'm answering to somebody. But you know,
You mean a higher power in terms of this corporate king that you never met, you might never see.
Exactly.
Type of situation.
Yeah.
Dude, that just it's so weird how Francis just watched this film called 360.
Okay.
And the whole concept of the film is how more or less it is about destiny, but it's about specifically how different forks in the path align to create the destiny of each other's life. So a lot of people, when they think about destiny, they think about destiny is just, it's one person and nothing else matters. But this film more so takes the concept, destiny isn't individual, it's group.
Okay.
To where everybody's destiny is intertwined and it's affecting each other. Even though, quote unquote, the concept of fate
So in that sense, would if somebody chose to take say that somebody decides to take a detour, would that alter the destiny of the group?
No, it's more so like,
Or is that already predetermined?
well, the whole concept of destiny, fate is quote unquote predetermined. It's more so when people think about destiny and fate, they think about, okay, they're not thinking about how others affect their destiny. They think about what their decisions do.
Right.
And this is more so like, to use you and Francis as an example, you talking to him about how different Japan is.
Okay.
That was always going to quote unquote happen, but because you told him, that's what caused him to think of simplicity and how good he has it as an American. Because the normal concept is like, oh, Francis thought about how good he has it because it randomly popped up in his head. No, it popped up in his head because
it sparked interest.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's what the film's... Of course, it's a lot more impactful decisions, but
Right.
using that as the best example
Okay.
of our... You know?
I like it.
Yeah. No, so I don't even... Why did I bring that? Different forks lead to the... Yes. Okay, so do you prefer creamers or squirters? And it doesn't have to be one or the other. It could be both. It's just more so I want it's to get a preference.
I don't know. I would say I don't look for that. I would say like her pleasure in general is just like the woman's pleasure in general is the focus, but you know.
Amen.
I think I would be surprised and, you know, welcoming to the idea of either.
Well, and to be fair, in your situation, right? You love this woman. You consider her the love of your life. If she happened to be a squirter, then you would have to accept that.
Right.
Even if you didn't want that. And if she happened to be a creamer and you preferred squirters, you would just have... It's just... That's what it is.
Or it could have been, you know, you could have preferred one thing, but
without knowing
that love has swayed you into the other path.
Now that's deep.
Yeah.
That could go really multi-layered. Yeah. Now, to get in the most raw form of this question, I'm going to put it in a perspective to where it's going to really make you think what you prefer. Okay?
Okay.
Now, if take away eating it as pussy, and then they're doing this act, right? But you have to actually eat the substance. What do you prefer in that moment? Meaning, would you rather eat a pound?
Would I rather eat a pound of cream or drink a pound of squirt?
You already know the question.
I don't know. Texture-wise, I'll probably drink.
Well, that's what I always go to. Bro, just
I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like cream would just like...
And bro, you can't eat it with anything else. It's not like you could use the cream as a spread.
I just feel like a pound of cream would just like...
But a pound of squirt is
dry your mouth out a little bit.
Well, you ever eat... It's not quite to the degree of cinnamon, but you know if you have like a lot of cinnamon in something, you can't swallow.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I didn't mean dry, but like, I feel like it would be hard to swallow.
Definitely after half a pound, you're getting to the point.
Like honestly, you probably had to eat that cream and then wash it down with the squirt.
Yeah.
To be honest,
is the best answer yet, because that is a realistic fact.
Yeah, like you have to wash it down. If it's not going down, you probably be like, you know what? Can I just like get a half a pound of cream and a half a pound of squirt? And just,
you know the hot dog eating contest where they to get the hot dogs down faster,
they drink the water.
That's what popped up in my head when you said that, because now thinking about it, because some women have truly thick cream.
Yeah, from like a strategic standpoint, I feel like that would be the best. Like,
this is your military coming out.
Like that would be the best option, is to like go half and half.
So, Dude, that is so brilliant. That is such a creative perspective because okay, realistically speaking, if you had both a pound of each right in front of you and they said you have to consume a pound. It doesn't matter which one.
Yeah. If they say you gotta consume a pound, I'd much rather, take a couple bites and wash it down.
Yo, you thought like a professional right there.
Hey.
See, that's your experience of being in the military. And they say the military doesn't teach
shit. I tell people all the time, like, I would do it again, but I wouldn't re-enlist.
Oh, no, you would go in as an off. You would try to go for an officer.
I'd go in again. No, even enlist it. Like,
okay.
I'd go in again and do it all over again. I just wouldn't re-enlist.
You mean, are you saying you wouldn't be active? You would go as reserve?
So I did the 4 years, right?
Oh,
I would do 4 years. Like, if I could go back, I would do it again.
Just without
But I still wouldn't re-enlist like I'm not now. Like, because I'm getting out after 4 years.
Oh, okay.
I would still only just do 4 years.
Brain fart.
Yeah.
So it's almost like if you could go back in time, I
wouldn't change it.
But that's assuming you didn't already do 4 years.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, a low-key slow moment, but...
It's all good, bro. But think about this, because I think about this stuff a lot.
Okay.
In the alternate universe, do you think that the other me chose to go to the military and then came out single? Or do you think that he found somebody? And what if it's the same person of that alternate universe?
Well,
that would be weird.
If we want to get real deep, in this alternate universe, does Say Yes fuck you?
That's true. I don't know.
Because don't forget all the things that transpired, which basically forced you to sign up for the Navy. Mm-hmm. So in this alternate universe, is all that the same?
Right? Or was it just, or does this other person or this other me, did they finish college and then go in?
Or do they just, because now with your mindset with how you view medical school, right? Mm-hmm. What if you had that mindset graduating high school? Do you even go to college, or do you go straight into the Navy so you're 3 years younger? So now it changes your perspective about staying in the Navy, because now you have 3 additional years. So now your rank is higher. Maybe an officer position opened up. Dude, the ripple effect and the butterfly effect is
crazy.
Real.
And the Mandela effect.
What's the Mandela effect?
So it's like things that we think of that has changed throughout time is due to like a alternate. Say somebody changed something in history or in a different universe, and it's altered something here. Like Jif peanut butter used to say Jiffy, but they said it's never said Jiffy.
Wait, who said that?
That's like one of the things on the Mandela effect.
Bro,
you should watch one of the videos one day.
Jif definitely said Jiffy at one point.
They said it never did.
Maybe they're being technical because I know they had a kids thing that said Jiffy.
You should watch it.
No, bro, I'm that's some bullshit.
It's gonna freak you out. It's some things in there you'd be like, damn. Because so it's named after Nelson Mandela.
Yeah.
Because there were like things that said that he died in prison, but he didn't. And it was published that he died in prison.
Well, the only problem, I guess this is technically in with both the butterfly effect as well. Mm-hmm. The whole concept of what we're talking about, be it butterfly, Mandela, these effects only exist if there is more than one universe.
Right.
Because if there isn't, then technically you can't have a butterfly effect, because whatever you did, technically this is where fate comes in, you were going to do.
Yeah.
Are you religious or spiritual? And just to be clear, when I say religious, I'm not talking about the corrupt religion. I'm talking about the base principles of what religion is. Just like when it comes to spirituality, I'm not talking about all these fake spiritual people who say they're spiritual because they're not religious. I'm saying Like you feel like you're connected to something deeper, be it nature, be it the cosmos, that type of stuff.
So I'm kind of weird, right?
Okay,
Cause
let's get queer, baby.
so I believe in a higher being, right? I for sure believe in a higher being.
Okay,
Yet I'm very, in a sense, spiritual because I feel like as long as I put positive energy out into the universe will return it onto me.
karma.
Yeah. So I would say I'm a mixture in a sense. Like I don't belong to any religion,
Okay,
but I'm welcoming to religions. I'm welcoming to learn about different religions, and
as you should.
yeah, because you can learn anything from everything.
True.
Yeah, so definitely a little bit of everything is what I am.
Okay. Anybody who says they're religious, who's truly religious, they have to be spiritual.
Right.
But I know what you're saying. You can't technically be fully religious just because of the practices, but
Right.
that's where your spirituality comes in and makes up for it.
And I still pray in my own way, if that makes a sense. Like, cause I feel like I do feel like you're like still connected to like the ones you've lost, in a sense. Cause like I'll anytime try to like have a conversation with my great grandmother or like my great uncle, anybody that I lost, try to get that knowledge. But you might not get an answer back, but you definitely get a feeling when you ask a question.
I'm glad you still think about them
Yeah.
because, at least scientifically speaking, the only way they could live on is if you keep their life.
Right. It's through memory.
And that's another thing I
Coco. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite Disney movies.
you know it's
That
crazy.
concept is amazing.
You know it's so crazy. Ever since I seen that film, I think about that on the regular, and ever since Francis lost two people in his life, he told his mom that starting next year, that even if it's just him and her, that he wants to do something very similar to the Mexican culture, where every major holiday they tell stories about.
Yeah, pass on that memory, let it live on through generations, for sure.
And you know what's so crazy about that film is that it could be 100% true, all of it could be bullshit, but the principle of the film, the concept of the film, you can't deny. Because scientifically speaking, in terms of what we 100% know, the only way your loved ones, when they pass away, for them to live on, is if you and the younger generations remember them. And it's always easy for a Kobe. Kobe's never gonna die.
Right. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's always going to be later on those kids when we're walking around shooting stuff into trash cans talking about Kobe, and they're going to be like, who's Kobe? And then, but now we have all the videos of Kobe and, that those memories where we can explain to them.
But not only that, but you will always be able to look up Kobe.
Right.
And he will always be in the record books. But when you aren't a mega success, talent wise, social wise, economically, so for the average human being, how are we going to be remembered? You have to rely on your close and loved ones.
I was watching an interview the other day with Pitbull in it, and he was like, I guess they asked him something along the lines of, how did he know he was gonna, like, how did he realize he was successful or something like that? And his explanation was pretty much, when you Google Pitbull, I pop up before the dog do.
Damn.
Right. So I was like, that makes a lot of sense because, like, what type of notoriety you have to pop up before the dog breed Pitbull, and you see him first.
Yo, you know what's so crazy? That's so true.
Yeah.
That is a perfect example of the simple answer being the perfect one.
Yeah. My favorite interview is it's a Boogie interview
Okay.
with Big Boy, and they asked him some question, and he's like, this might not be the word for word, but it was like, he said sometimes you got to think about things the way you don't want to think about things.
You have to be uncomfortable.
And they're like, what does that mean? And he was like, I don't even know. And they all started laughing. But it was so deep in the fact that sometimes you do have to think about things how in other ways you wouldn't, because you have to look at things from different perspectives to get the best outcome.
You know what? If I don't know if he was being serious or not, but the correct answer to that question is you have to make yourself uncomfortable.
Yeah.
The only way to be unbiased is to make yourself so uncomfortable it takes your bias out of it.
Yeah, and not only that, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, that's so funny.
Yeah.
That's, what is that technically called? That's a specific double, not a double entendre. That's you know what I'm talking about in English class? We learned about there's a word where the two negatives make. Do you know what I'm talking about? This is going over your head.
Yeah, that's going over my head, bro.
You have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Like, that technically doesn't make sense.
Is that a double entendre?
No, it's not a double entendre. It's something. But
is it onomatopoeia? I like that word.
But okay,
put it in the comments what it is so we can know, because we like to educate ourselves and we're always welcome to be corrected.
But your mind is. Do you now know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah,
technically
I
speaking, when you read that and you take every word for its literal meaning, being comfortable, being uncomfortable, technically should not make sense.
Right.
But it does.
Yeah.
There's a word for that is escaping my conscience right now. You dumbass motherfucker.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts about butt play? We know this was somewhat hinted on a previous episode, but this is part of the interview.
Butt play as in what? Like butt play with me? Like as in like, am I getting the butt stuff done to me, or am I doing the butt stuff to somebody else?
You're asking good questions. I like it. Okay.
We can do both. Let's just do both.
Okay. Tongue to her.
Tongue?
Yeah.
Like eating ass? Is that what you're eating? Yeah. Yeah, I'll eat ass. That's fine.
Only to your wife.
Yeah.
Finger.
And her ass?
Yes.
I got some long fingers, you know.
Okay, thumb.
If it's comfortable to her, then I'm willing to. But, you know, she would have to ask. I'm not just going to, like, stick my thumb in her butt. That's kind of, like, it's kind of rude to do, you know.
As at least as I always joked around, your fingers are longer than quite a few men's penises.
So yeah, I wouldn't just surprise her with that. If she asked me, then you know.
Okay, last for you to her, penis.
Hey, like I said, if it was asked, we could try to work something out.
Okay, no,
if that was something that mutually we came to an understanding that we wanted to try or something like that.
At the end of the day, if the wife wants something and she really wants it,
hey, I'm willing to try.
Yeah. Okay, now vice versa. We're not, of course, no penises going. No dildo type whatever.
Nope. Nothing going near my ass.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay, so but what about her finger? It's her finger.
Mm-mm.
Even a little rub around the circle hole?
Mm-mm.
What about her tongue?
Nope.
Okay, so you're completely okay. What if she really convinced you? What if she said, "Baby, I got some research for the finger and the tongue. You might want to hear me out."
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, but I understand that's where like the male G spot is. I understand it.
Okay.
I completely understand it.
You're just
but
not down.
I'm just not down.
You know what you sound like right now?
At least. No, I'm just not down.
You sound like a female who tells her man, "Don't play with my clit."
See, I was gonna say, at least I'm like right now, I'm not into it or interested in it.
That's why I said I was about to say I'm going to ask you in 10 years.
Yeah, I was about to say. So there's nothing to say that 10 years down the line, I'm not willing to experiment because I love her to death and I'll do anything for her and I'm willing to like experiment.
And you might have grown.
But, right, and I might have grown because like I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. I just think
in this moment,
in this moment, as of right now, it's not for me.
And that is the most fair answer you could give because you're being honest in this moment, but you're leaving opportunity for the future.
Right, like I don't know. I might get freaky one day, and I might be drunk one day and be like, "Yo, babe, put your finger in my butt."
Or you guys might.
And she might look at me like, "What? Okay," but you know.
Or you guys might have fully retired from whatever position you're at, and you just got the best weed.
Right. And then can't nobody tell me how to live my life. So if people think I'm a freak, okay, so be it. Like. I'm doing what I'm doing with who I'm doing it with, my wife. So let it be.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
I think this is a nice segue. What is your love language?
My love language? So I don't remember what they all are, like individually.
Well, technically, bro.
Because I know they have names for them. But
yeah, there's specifics, but even I don't know all of them. So it's more so.
I don't like gifts.
Can I just be clear? Of all the actual love languages, the actual not ones we make up, but the actual love, that one infuriates me. If I ever even think that a woman is that, bro, that you know what that is for
like,
me? That's gold digging to me.
So I'm really nowhere near materialistic, and for me, a simple guy, I really just need you to write me a poem or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
like,
you know what's a lost art?
Writing is a lost art. And I tell people that all the time, but like that's why I love my wife so much because she'll get me gifts, but to this day I tell her the best thing she's ever gotten me is the letters that she wrote in the cards because they mean so much more because that a gift, yes, it takes time. You know, you really got to think about it. But when you're writing something to somebody, you're going to reread it multiple times to make sure that it's getting the message across that you want to go across.
Well, I would make the case that gifts are easy, bro, because there's so many ways to quickly discover a good gift for somebody.
Right.
And all it takes now with Amazon, go on Amazon.
One click buy. And I
how many people even know how to write an actual letter?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a lost art for sure. I'm about to start writing her poems again.
And you know what's so funny is that Francis, for the longest time, he preferred quick responses, but now he would rather get
a paragraph
once a week than a sentence every day.
Yeah, for sure.
Because a paragraph, and when we say paragraph, we're talking about a proper paragraph. Mm-hmm. It takes thought and time to formulate it correctly.
And like I said, you're gonna reread it.
Whoever rereads the one sentences, unless it's a dope ass one sentence.
But yeah, so mine would be communication. Probably like touch, because you know, I like having her in my arms, and you know, sometimes I like to be the little spoon. You know what I'm saying?
Dude,
I like to be held. I ain't gonna lie, it's dope. I love being held
every once in a while.
Yeah, I love being held. Yeah, like rub my arm, rub my back or something. Like rub me down a little bit and be like, "How was your day?" Because it shows that you care. Like, it's little things that really matter to me. Like, I don't really care about big things. Like, don't buy me some expensive stuff. Like, because honestly, especially like jewelry, if you buy it for me, I'm
not gonna wear it.
I'll wear it, but it's not gonna be as often as you think I should wear it.
And then more importantly, over the years, you're going to wear it less and less.
Yeah. So.
And with your mindset now, with your long-term goal of being a millionaire, baby, why did you buy me this jewelry that most likely is going to devalue over time when a real gift would have been, hey, babe, I just got you 10 stocks of Amazon. What?
10 stocks, that's a lot of money. But I understand. that's a lot of money.
I just thought about it. It's like, damn, your woman got you a 30.
10 stocks of Amazon. Okay. Yeah, you better marry her for real.
That's love making that moment.
Yeah.
I would make the case that is an example, even though that's a big deal, that's a little detail. Mm-hmm. Because she could have used that 30 grand to get you a car.
Yeah.
But she knows who you are and what your long-term goals are, to where just the difference of 30 grand in a car, 30 grand in stocks.
Exactly.
Is night and day. They're both big, quote-unquote, purchases, but one has a little detail in it that the other doesn't. Would you say language then? Language is your... Because communicate... Well, I guess communication could be in the written form as well. But I would put like communication language, because you love language in all forms, be it audio, written, or visual.
Yeah.
We didn't make the best decisions when we were younger. But given how everything turned out, it could be so much worse.
Yeah.
It really could.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't come to our realizations
as quick
until they're 35, some even 45. We did that at 25.
Yeah.
And yes, looking back, and if we could change some things, we would say, yo, why did we not come to these decisions at 20? You know, that's what I think about all the time. It took me 2 years in college to realize this stuff, and it took me 2 years out of college to start making moves.
Right.
Why didn't I realize this as a senior? And why didn't I start making moves 2 years later? But
yeah, somebody asked me if I could go back in high school, what would I change? And I told them I would focus more on my athletics, because we were actually some great athletes. We just didn't take it seriously.
We didn't put the training.
We could have easily been D1 and all.
Bro, I stand by this fact that if we trained like City Honors or Hutch Tech, we would have beat them, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Or at the very least, we would have been competing.
We came close, and we weren't nowhere near as trained as they were.
Well, look at least for track and field, look at how many events. Who did we ever lose to? We only
really lost to Tech.
And City Honors.
Yeah.
And City Honors in terms of the long distance stuff, but Tech and everything else.
That year I played soccer. It was senior year with like Ben and them.
Yeah. Ben and Michael.
Yeah, like we were bad, but
that's with no experience.
Like we beat the only undefeated team.
Cause you got, bro, dude.
And that was like one staple. Like it was a couple games in, and we started to get the feel and like actually learn the game. But we beat the only undefeated team. That might have been our only win. But
our class was so. Dude, I really feel if our class as a whole could redo high school, we would do it completely differently.
Yeah.
In at least one aspect or another. Like, I'm still proud of my academics, but I'm
glad you just said that. Because if I took my academics more seriously, I probably would have gave you a run for your money.
Bro, Michael.
Yeah, like, for real, like, that fight for valedictorian would have been crazy if we took it more seriously.
Well, dude, I always state this. I wasn't even top 5 naturally gifted. The only reason why I was valedictorian is because I was the only person who from 9th grade to 12th grade did every homework assignment, took every extra credit. No, seriously.
No, for real. Because, like, every year, I'd empty my locker and it'd be like mad complete homework that I'd never turned in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Dude, I always admit this. This is why Francis was so surprised about his score for the...
ASVAB.
he's not a good test taker.
Mm-hmm.
He is not. He gets where he gets to, and he's gotten where he's gotten to strictly because of hard work. Stuff does,
Right.
unless it's math, stuff does not come easy to him. He can't remember lyrics to save his life. Names are even worse.
Which is where I messed up because,
You're so good at it.
like you said, I was gifted, so I like stuff came easy to me. So when it came to tests, I've always aced my tests. Like
Without studying.
That's what saved me. Yeah, that's what saved me in high school because I like.
What killed you
I didn't need to study.
Yeah.
But what killed me was homework because I felt like I was in the mindset where if I'm getting hundreds on all my tests and exams, why should I prove to you that I know this stuff with homework? You're wasting my time at this point.
Yeah. Even though when you think about now looking back, homework is just it's
just practice to keep you updated. And
well, to be fair too, homework it's what stimulates the brain. And the exam is what's making sure you can retain it.
Yeah. But I was like, back then it was just like, yo, I obviously know it. I got hundreds on everything.
But yo, bro, think about it. You, Ben, Malik, Javon.
Yeah.
If you guys didn't treat class itself as a get together, and
like we used to joke with Javon because he said a lot of things that were like.
But Javon,
but that dude he's smart as fuck. Like our group in general is one of the some of the greatest minds I've ever seen. And that's not just because y'all my brothers that I'm saying it. But
no, real talk. We're the best class of MST, not even close.
Oh, yeah.
Not even close.
And y'all can quote me on that one. Go ahead, put it in the comments, because I know we got a lot of alum subscribers that graduated before us.
Yeah.
So they can say whatever they want, but...
Well, I would say any class after us, they just need to shut up.
That don't count. That don't count.
In every aspect.
But you look at it, and a lot of people in classes after us would try, they would say, in a sense, that they were part of our class. Because, in a sense, we adopted a lot of the younger guys and ladies into our group.
You know what I call that? I call that they're trying to use that math association bullshit, and it's not working.
It is what it is.
It's not working.
It is what it is. Hey, they got to get in there somehow,
Yo, did this come off of Love Language?
It did.
What the fuck?
I don't know I don't know how that jumped into that, but
what makes you climax?
Huh? What do you mean?
I mean, take it however you want to take it.
It's a mental thing, honestly.
But what?
Obviously, it's the feeling of
No. Well, that's what basic
it's the
people
emotion,
say.
But no, honestly.
What specific? No.
Her, yeah. like her, bro. For real, she she gets me. She knows what to do. That's the whole thing with learning each other's bodies. She knows what to do to if she wants me to, come quick or whatever. Whenever she's ready for me to, she know what to do to get me there.
Oh wait, she does?
Yeah, but that's comes from us communication and learning each other's bodies.
Wow.
Yeah.
So more or less, you're saying, and talk to the camera right now because I want you to be talking to her. You're saying that whenever she wants you to come, she will make you come. Meaning she controls the length.
Yeah, she knows what to do. No, for real, she's hilarious because she'll be like, this is where that dominant submissive thing comes into play because she'll be like, no, you can't right now.
Okay.
And then what am I gonna say? No.
She's in charge.
Right. So
Damn. Yo, she's had moments where she straight up said no. We're going longer. Now that's.
But real. I don't have no problem with that because I'm me, and I do my thing.
No. But that's real though, because that's a combination of dominance and communication.
Yeah.
Because for whatever reason, she might have not come herself, and she's letting no, nigga, we're still going. I don't know why that just felt like the perfect saying right there. No, I just, for some reason, I'm picturing, for whatever reason, she just randomly gets a serious face and like full blown gets dominant and saying, "No, I'm in charge now. We're still going." It just, I feel sex. For the longest time, sex was a form of communication in human life.
Right.
And then over time, it's...
And this is how I look at it. Sex is the physical aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? But making love comes into play when it's a mind game. When the emotions are into it. And, you know, you're feeding off of each other's, like...
energy.
Yeah. So, like, that's where it becomes making love. That's where I draw it. Like, that's what I feel.
Amen.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, passionate sex. That's
right.
where passionate sex comes in. Yeah.
Do you think foreplay is essential?
It depends on the woman.
I think it's essential.
But bro, there's some women who come so easily that foreplay makes them come, and they don't need to have sex. So
afterwards, yeah.
So at that point, what is the man getting? And that's where the if the communication is just to get her off, then foreplay is always essential. Right. But if we're strictly talking about both people getting off and the woman gets off easily, then I would say in those rare relationships, foreplay isn't necessary unless the man needs it.
Right. I got you.
But normally, I agree with you. The answer is one. Because I don't like, for me. I don't even view foreplay as foreplay. I've always when I first started having sex, I always thought like what we consider foreplay was the sex itself. So every time I've had actual like sex with somebody I cared about, that was always part of it. So when people said foreplay,
you just thought it was, yeah.
Like, I knew what foreplay was, but for me, it's in my mind. Of course, you do foreplay. Like, do you eat cereal without a bowl? Like, you need... Like, for me, I always thought you need to do it.
Right.
Especially with now more than ever, bro, unless you're really hot, I just can't get up. I'm just not, like, unless, like, I'm in that moment... I need foreplay. Like, I think very...
Just to turn you on.
Yeah. Yes. Because you know me, bro.
Have her stick her finger in your butt.
Is that even... I would consider that straight sex, though.
Maybe.
But this comes down... People have different concepts of foreplay. Like, technically, kissing is foreplay. But for me, kissing... Dude, I don't know how people have sex without kissing. Even if it's a one-night stand, bro.
It's possible.
The follow-up question to another segue we had, but getting back on base. Mm-hmm. What does she know about you that allows you to climax? Because you said she knows certain things about you.
Well, yeah, because, like...
So what are those things?
She knows what gets me off. So, like, or gets me, like, to that point quicker. So, like, eye contact.
Okay.
You know, it could be a certain way she looks at me, or...
That's underrated.
Yeah, or, like, a certain noise that we make, or... You know, it's different things that can trigger a different response from me. So, and I honestly feel like she knows what triggers what.
Okay. So I'm going to answer the question for you. I would say, from the knowledge I have, it's contact and sound.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that kind of makes sense to go along with how you're about the little details. So that makes sense.
I'm a big old teddy bear. I'm her teddy bear.
I'm glad you said that. When people have sex, they don't appreciate the subtle touches.
Yeah.
In certain places at the right moment. Like something as simple when you're eating a woman out, right? And when she's getting to that moment, you put your hand on the exterior of her vagina, or you put it on a certain part of her thigh. Like
Right.
those, and the amount of pressure you put in those moments can be the difference between her never climaxing and her going back to back. You know?
Yeah.
So
You suck toes?
I've never sucked a toe,
You look like you suck toes.
but I have a toe fetish. So you
You
are.
look like you suck toes. You look like you suck
What
toes.
does
Yeah.
what does a
You
person
look like you suck toes. Yeah.
who what does a person look like who looks like he sucks toes?
You.
Would you be saying this if your conscience had a shaved face?
Yeah.
So it's just my face,
Yeah, you
period.
just look like you suck toes. Do I look like I suck toes?
You know what you look like, bro? You look like you suck the butthole. You just don't eat that
I
shit.
don't suck. I don't know. Maybe if I'm like in the mood.
You remember that one time in that MST? I think it was 11th grade when I came down when you were kissing Brianna and you gave me that look.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
I will never. That image, still to this day, is ingrained in your conscience.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Every time we talk about sex, that's the face I think about. I'm like, that's James' face. That's his deep.
Nope.
I'm getting in this face.
Nope.
You know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
Would you pick the red pill or the blue pill? And if you don't know the analogy I'm making, the unpleasant truth versus blissful ignorance.
The unpleasant truth.
So the red pill. Why? Explain.
Because I rather know the truth and be, uncomfortable with it, but it's the truth, so I know it, so I'm gonna deal with it, than to be walking around in ignorance.
No matter how
Right, no matter how,
blissful it is.
yeah. Because I rather know completely what's going on than to be blinded by a bunch of smoke and, smoke screens and curtains.
That's nice Wizard of Oz reference right there.
Yeah.
Now, to really test your answer, what if I said blissful ignorance will give you your ultimate dream, but the unpleasant truth will guarantee your most miserable life? Are you still going with your answer? Meaning, like, let's say I gave you two forks in the path, right? Mm-hmm. And you went one route, and it more or less guaranteed your death, right? You knew when, where, and you're going to have a short life. The other path guaranteed your life, and you're going to have a long, prosperous, long life. The death route is the truth. It's reality, while the ultimate peaceful life is the lie. It's the ignorance. Are you still picking truth?
So it's tough because if I know the truth and I know all that, I can make the best out of it.
So even if it is hell, it's the best.
It's the best hell that I can make it, because if I know when and where I'm gonna die, I can live my full life until then. I won't look at things and be like, I won't be as hesitant to do things, because I know, okay, I don't have much longer anyway, so I might as well do something that otherwise I wouldn't do.
And to be fair, I was using death as an example. Like, for example, the unpleasant truth is, you could pick any bad example. Like, let's say the unpleasant truth is, would you pick unpleasant truth if it meant you were, quote unquote, a slave, right? Where blissful ignorance was you're a millionaire, but it's technically not real. But it is the better life. So when you die in both situations, you die a slave, but it's reality, quote unquote, what we call reality. Or you could pick a life of a millionaire, but technically none of it was true.
I'd rather die knowing that I lived my true self than to die knowing that I didn't know who I was, in a sense, if that makes sense.
No, that I was giving you these different scenarios because a lot of people have chosen one or the other, and then when I gave them a different scenario or a deeper scenario,
they change it up.
yeah. So I just wanted to make sure you.
Definitely the truth.
I knew it was the truth, but I just wanted to grill you.
Definitely the truth.
Okay, so now we're going to end on 2 back-to-back deep ones.
Okay.
So the first one is, who are you in the dark? Or it's another way, who are you by yourself? Who are you in your most inner thoughts?
In my element?
Yes.
So, honestly, I would say I'm the same. If I say so myself. Probably more expressive. Like,
I could see that.
yeah, I'm probably more expressive, especially when it comes to emotions.
I was about to say, the only thing I disagree with you is that if you're one with yourself, you are more emotional.
Yeah,
that's
like,
the only difference.
Emotion wise, I'm probably a lot deeper. So if you want to see who I am, like on my own terms, you would have to read like the things that I write, like my poetry and everything like that, because that's me, 100%. That's all my thoughts, and I don't reread it and change anything.
You don't hold back.
Yeah, so you're getting the raw truth of what I have. So definitely, if you want to see the me that's not out there all like that and emotionally there, then I would definitely, like, my poetry is where it's at.
I love that answer because I feel another lost art is the journal.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see nothing wrong with. So a lot of men, like, because writing in a journal is associated with a diary.
Yeah.
I fully support it.
Well, the thing is, too, a lot of people nowadays, right, they say, well, why do we need a journal? We got, quote unquote, social media. But the whole problem with that is that, not saying that you don't expect anyone to read your journal, but you're writing it in that moment, assuming no one will.
I was about to say, if somebody reads it, usually it's by your choice.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a lot of things that, it's some deep stuff in my poetry, and like, it's times where, like, when I fell into depression, stuff like that, things that people don't know.
Only you know.
Yeah.
If you're writing a true journal where you're either not holding back and you don't have a ulterior motive to where, like how some people now, they write a journal on purpose so somebody can read it, almost like a setup.
Mm-hmm.
The pure principle of a journal is for your most inner thoughts. It's your thoughts.
It's you on paper. Yeah. Your true self on paper, which is why I chose the truth.
Dude, it's so crazy. I Francis has never met your wife so far, but for you to feel the way you do, I feel like she's a very, quote unquote, classic. She would have to be a classic woman to get this admiration from you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And not classic in terms of she listens to the man type of thing, but classic in terms of she knows who she is as a woman, but she also knows what a man should be in a very natural relationship. And I think a lot of people are losing sight of what it means to be human, in a sense.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't realize, like, we're going to make mistakes. That's the flaw in humans. We're going to make mistakes. Like, nobody's perfect. But the fact that she accepts my flaws and I accept hers, and we work together to either turn our weaknesses into strengths.
Yeah.
Alters the whole thing.
Well, as a quick segue, that's the whole concept of a person staying with another person in marriage after cheating. For the longest time, we as a group, our friends, thought of that as weakness. But as long as the person who cheated, it was literally a mistake. Like, it wasn't, oh, I did this on purpose, but then I said it was a mistake. It was an actual mistake. Just, life happens.
Yeah.
Shit happens. Yo, the people who stay together and work that out, I
Become
feel
some of the strongest couples. And it's crazy because, like, yeah, we watch movies where, you know, the male or the female has decided to stay with their significant other after the fact or after the, cheating and after whatever. And a lot of people look at it and be like, oh,
that's weakness.
that's stupid. Why would you do that? I would have left. I would have did this. But you got to think, like, that person is somebody that you're in love with, like, truly in love with. And if you are in love, like you say, that means you're willing to work together to fix it.
Communication and compromise.
Yeah. And who's to say that
doesn't make you stronger?
Right. That other, like, your significant other wasn't in a moment of vulnerability and somebody took advantage of them. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's definitely.
And that's why I emphasized a mistake. Because when most people cheat, they're actually legit cheating. That was their goal.
Right.
But in rare circumstances,
it was a mistake.
Yes. And I'm so glad you said that, because nowadays people view leaving as the strong decision, the right move. When in reality, no, it's not.
It's not.
The strong thing is
to work with that person.
The hard thing is to get over the in the moment petty emotional state of mind.
I tell you, the best way to approach that and to know that you're like, in a sense, built different, or like that you love this person, is when you realize, or you come to the realization that you want to ask this person, what did I do wrong? And you're willing to accept the fact that it could have been you that pushed this person away. Or, you might have played a factor in that.
Taking responsibility.
Right. So I think that's a big step. And if you can do that, then you're ready to fix what was, tested.
Especially for men, because normally when a woman cheats, the man is doing something wrong. So for a man to ask the woman, that's even bigger standards than if the woman vice versa. Because normally, even when men cheat to cheat, they're not cheating for the emotional.
No, I think it's
on average.
Yeah, on average, men are usually they just weren't thinking and just out here
Let's be real, bro. Men are more corruptible. It's a fact.
Yeah.
They're easier to corrupt.
And easier to sway to do. Yeah. For sure.
Okay, so the last question is, I believe, your favorite one. And this is a great segue with the conversation we just had. What would bother you more? Your wife having a one-night stand with the apex of a human being, a freak of an athlete, and quite literally blows her back out, but they never see each other ever again, or your wife growing emotionally and mentally attached to the degree where she falls in love with a man, but she's never had any type of physical contact with, let alone sex?
Well, first, let me say that I am an alpha. All right. And I give off alpha energy. And nobody can do that. But with that being said, I would be more bothered with the emotional attachment, because now because I haven't lost her physically.
Yes, fact.
But I have lost her mentally and emotionally, which is a deeper bond and deeper connection, which means that your ties to her might be broken.
At the very least, they're fractured and chakra.
Right.
Yeah.
And the fact that she hasn't had any contact with this person sexually,
but it feels that strongly.
But it's that strong, and she's in love with this person, hurts even worse.
So you're almost more offended by the fact that hypothetically speaking, your wife just had the best sex of her life, but she still loves you and still has this connection to you mentally and emotionally, then the woman who's never had any dick in her, but yet somehow feels so attached.
Because you know why? Because for her to be like emotionally involved,
means
that took time.
Oh, yeah.
That took time. So like you gradually lost her over time and didn't notice.
You know what I thought you were going to say? With her growing for this one man means that she was disconnecting from you.
Yeah. So you're like gradually losing her and you had no idea. So emotionally, an emotional bond takes a lot more time to create than that physical attraction.
Especially if in this scenario, she's living with you and she's never seen the other.
Right. Because I can not me, but you can develop a physical attraction to a woman passing by or a man passing by.
Very quickly.
Yeah, very quickly, because you're going to look and be like, oh my God, like that person's very attractive, But emotionally, that means you have to talk to that person. You have to get to know that person. You know what I'm saying? You have to go in depth with it and actually spend time with this person.
Especially to disconnect from the person you're currently with.
So while you're creating this emotional bond with this other person, where am I at and what am I doing? And what am I doing wrong? And why haven't you talked to me about it?
So would you say you view the former situation more so it could almost be treated like a mistake?
Yeah.
So where it's like, okay.
It's like, because now it's, that physical attraction was so enticing that I just,
we haven't had sex in a week.
Yeah, like I just fell into the situation and things just happened.
But she still loves you more. She might love you more now than ever
because she might, after the fact, because we're not looking past it, after the fact, that might be a regret.
Or she just, especially with men, in that moment, if you have to nut, like the only thing on your mind is you got to nut. But the moment you nut, reality sits back in. It's like, okay, don't get me wrong. This might have been the best pussy of my life.
So I tell you this. And, like coming up, especially like in college and whatever, when I saw myself getting ready to make a decision when it came to having sex with someone, I would masturbate prior to see if after I nutted, if I still was interested.
Yo, bro, when did you start doing this?
I would say like late high school, early college.
You are so lucky because Francis did not learn that lesson until after college.
Yeah.
And the combination of time, money, and standards for himself.
Right.
Lost so much in value. It's disgusting. So be happy that you discovered that when you did. Because if Francis discovered that in high school, he would have saved a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of honor.
Right. Like, I don't know where I learned it from, because I definitely didn't think of that on my own.
Oh, you know where I learned it?
I got it from somewhere. I can't remember where, though.
Francis learned it from Joe Rogan. He just learned it 4 years too late. Joe Rogan, on one of his episodes, they were talking about sex, and he just randomly brought up, do not do anything when you are horny. Bust that nut as quickly as you can.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that a lot, too. Like, you don't make decisions like that, right? Especially, like, same with, like, you don't make decisions while you're angry. Take time.
Emotional.
And decompress, yeah.
You never make any decision when you're emotional, and I'm putting sex into that. When
right.
You're sexual into that. And especially when you're about to have sex with, there's a plan to have sex with a person, and you're not 100% about it, bust that nut first. And then if you still feel like you want to have sex, okay, then most likely you should have sex.
Yeah. Let me talk to the people. Listen, do you hear that? So, if you are thinking about going to do something with someone, that you find very attractive or whatever the case may be. It might be you're just horny and it might be the last person on your list. You know, take that time, take care of yourself, and afterwards rethink and tell me, put in the comments, tell us if you still want to make that decision. Or if you've done this before, leave us your story. Let us read it. Put it in the comments, please.
Hey, yeah, as long as it's not too embarrassing, because Francis has a lot of.
I mean,
if you feel comfortable, then
we
go ahead.
family, so we ain't gonna judge you, and we'll send some.
The point of the story is that Francis, whatever you say, it can't top Francis's embarrassing moments.
So and I know a lot of them, so we won't we won't judge you, and I'm pretty sure you can't. It won't be too bad.
Yes.
It probably sound worse in your head than it do when you type it out.
I don't know. It might sound worse when you type that shit out. You might think in your head, oh, this ain't that bad, and you should be like, oh.
Oh yeah, that's kind of yeah. I don't know.
You ever have those moments?
I would put them in there, and we'll read, and we'll give you some input.
Okay, so James, or as your new nickname is, Agent Doobie White. It was a pleasure.
Always.
You were a great guest. This was a nice Rhinos and Aliens where we had some randomness at the beginning, and then we ended it with the interview. So,
also, quick put in.
Oh yes,
I've seen. I watch a podcast called I Am Athlete, and they do this thing that I really respect.
Okay,
and they're trying to bring awareness to, like, especially like mental health and everything like that, and especially within men. So I want to ask you, Conscious,
okay,
how are you mentally, physically, emotionally, like, and business wise? How are you? Like, how are you feeling? In all those aspects, like on a scale from like 1 to 10, how are you?
You said mentally, physically,
emotionally, and like business wise, economically, or whatever else you want to put in there.
Okay. Okay, so physically 7.
Okay.
Just it's not a 10 just because not enough time to fully relax the body with all the work. Economically, for how life has gone up until this point, I would say an 8.
Okay.
But because of my long-term goals, combined with, how I second guess everything and I always do what ifs, I'm so hard on myself that I would say, biasly, from an economic perspective, like a 3.
Okay.
Just because you know how I am. Yeah. Now when it comes to mentally, a 5.
Okay. Why 5?
The best way to put it, I'm very up and down to where, like, I'm either feeling very confident with what I'm doing with my life, so like a 10,
right,
or I'm just feeling like a straight 1. So, but
it wavers.
Yeah, but on average, I would say a 5.
Okay.
And then emotionally, an A, just because, as you've through Facebook Messenger on with Francis, the emotional is just not computing. There's errors right now.
There's so much to take in.
Yeah, it's more so like in moments you're computing it's not going well, but then in other moments it's computing it's going well, but for reasons that aren't compatible with who you are as a person.
Right.
If that makes sense.
I got you.
So that's why I would say NA, just because it's
I got you. I understand.
Yeah. I like that, bro.
I love that they do that because it's...
Oh, so is this how they end their episode or something?
Yeah. It's essentially how they end episodes, and they just because as men we're not really taught to express ourselves, especially emotionally. So to check, it's just to check up on each other as brothers, and
No, I like that just because also another thing about Americans, we take every day for granted.
yeah,
And knock on wood, this might be the last time we see each other.
exactly, and you
So
don't want to, right? So it's definitely a way to let each other know, like, because you're my brother, bro, and we've been bros forever. So it's like it's a way of expressing our love, because I love you to death and I got your back. So I want to make sure that you're okay.
I don't know if you noticed, but recently I've just been randomly hitting you up saying,
Right, and that's what I'm saying. So like, we make sure each other's okay, and I try my best to check up on everybody, and because you never know what somebody's going through.
no, you really don't.
You never know, and
At least when it comes to the mental and emotional.
right, and especially I know with myself, I used to hide a lot, like hide a lot of things, and
You did.
I smile and nobody ever know what's going on unless I like really brought it out and told somebody or somebody caught me breaking down. So it's definitely a way to check up on each other and make sure that we know like the love is there, and no matter what, you got somebody to lean on. And I love that they do that. So I think it's dope, and it should be spread around.
No, I respect that, and
Yeah.
I think no, I really like that. And it also makes you really, as long as you're being honest with yourself, it makes you really be blunt with yourself.
Right, and it opens your eyes to how you really are feeling and how you really are.
Well, the emotional one, I've known that for a few weeks
Right.
now. It's just, dude, it's one of, because you know how I'm a hopeless romantic, but the world just isn't, at least my world
Right now.
isn't
Yeah.
isn't it's not going along with that concept, and
Right.
it's almost like those films where the android is programmed to do one thing, and then
And that's it.
and it's being told to do something else, and you keep repeating like the process it can't
Right.
partake in, and now the robot slowly over time is starting to break down, and then at the very end it's just malfunctioning, no input. What
Yeah.
And right now it's women. I can't compute why I'm not connecting with women. And before I used to. So
Right.
that's why I want you to know that it's not necessarily, I'm never going to end up with somebody, but it's more so,
Right now, that's just not what's happening.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm more so putting blame on myself. Like, once again, I have high standards, but it's more so, why am I not, are my standards so
Too
high
high. Yeah.
that now it's like, okay,
But
nope.
now you're trying to think, if my standards are too high, should I change them? But why change what you want?
So it's more so figuring out
Yeah.
what's wrong in my head type of situation.
But and it's not really what's wrong, but is what things are you willing to sacrifice to get what you not
Desire.
only want, desire, but what you need.
The most important thing, need.
Yeah.
Need is more important than want.
Exactly.
You answer those questions. How are you in those four?
Mentally, I'm at like an 8. I'm good.
I feel it.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm mentally I'm good. I'm in a good mindset. I haven't really been overthinking a lot. The anxiety's not as bad.
I could feel that because ever since you've been back in the episodes you recorded with us, night and day from when before the Navy. I don't
Right.
know if that's just you growing as a person or if that is your actual mental mindset.
Right.
But you're more talkative, you're more expressive, you're more, I wouldn't say witty, but you're more responsive.
Right. And now I'm more willing to actually go out, like you said, more ready to talk.
Yeah.
And I'll actually bring something up. Yeah. So
I'm glad you've noticed that because
Yeah.
the past few episodes, James is legit. Yo.
But like before, I was just answering the questions that were pointed towards me.
Yeah, and then you would be silent, or you would, even if it wasn't silence, it would be very short and simple. Not saying that's a bad thing, but I know you're a more expressive
Remember
person.
the thing was always, I'm a man of few words.
Yes.
Yeah.
But since I always knew you well, I knew that when you opened up, you're not a man of few words. Mm-hmm. So that's why
I got a lot to say.
That's why the initial episodes where you were the OG, it was so weird on camera because I'm thinking this really isn't James, but now recently this is more the James I know, and I'm loving it.
But I tell you what, it's her. She's helped me get to this point. Like, I give her all her credit when it's due.
That's a true woman then.
Yeah, I give it. Because without her, I would not express myself. I wouldn't come out and talk like that.
And, yo, bro, I say this to all my friends. I don't have to like the woman, but make sure I respect her.
Oh, for sure.
And even if, like, worst case scenario, I don't like your wife, I will always respect her because at the end of the day, any relationship that creates growth,
right,
I am all for.
And she's giving me my best me, you know what I'm saying?
And yo, it shows on camera.
Yeah.
And nothing's changed about Rhinos and Aliens.
Word.
Emotionally.
Emotionally, I'm a 9, only because at 10, nobody's perfect. And I have like my times where like I'll slip into like a small depression sometimes. Like it's not as frequent as it used to be.
And yo, bro, by saying 9 now, that leaves room for 10 down the road. And
so definitely a 9 because I'm pretty good. Economically, I'd say maybe a 6 because I know where I want to be and I'm just not there yet.
I like that.
Yeah,
you almost like combined my answer.
Right. Yeah, okay. I'm just not there yet. So I'd say a 6 because I have a lot of room to work on. I got a lot of things to work on. Yeah,
but technically, it could be a lot worse. That's
right.
why.
That's why it's lower.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
And the other physical. That's the last.
Oh, physically. I'm physically I'm probably like a 6 or 7. Only because
I see you getting some little handlebars
so like,
right there.
The weight gain is tough because I've never really been too big.
No, never.
Yeah, so like sometimes it'll get to me, especially if somebody say something about it. Then I get a little self-conscious, and then I feel some type of way, and then I'll like kind of shut down. So like I'm working on that too. So like,
which that goes into the mental.
It's room for progress. So mentally I'm good. So I would be more willing to work on the physical.
So really, more so, you are physical in economics, which needs to improve the most.
Right.
And for me, I'm the complete opposite. It's the mental and the
emotional. Yeah.
Well, that's why we're friends, because we're honest with each other.
Yeah.
And that's why, at least, our relationship off camera is going to be a great one, because I'm going to make sure to hook you up.
Exactly. And, where we have our weaknesses, we have people that's willing to help turn them into strengths.
That's the whole point of a relationship. Like, literally, the whole concept of a relationship. People don't realize that. Well, first off, if you're not getting anything from a relationship, that's not a relationship. Because you're being used. And secondly, the whole concept of a relationship is trading. Like, that's what... Where do you think men and women came from?
Right.
A man is protection. A woman is the person who keeps the family together. And that's what friends are for. It's like, okay, my friend is business savvy. My friend is marketing savvy.
Yeah.
My friend is the social savvy person, And you guys come together and you make this awesome dynamic as long as you all respect each other and coexist to where you're not cutting each other's throats to get to the top of wherever it is.
Right.
Okay, but now we're ready for the 5-finger round.
I'm ready.
Do you want to plug in your photography?
Shameless plug. Crooked Smile Photography on Instagram. Crooked.smiles.photos. Crooked Smile Photography on Facebook. Go hit it up, man. Like hit me up for some photos and whatnot.
Hustling out here, baby.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to get into the 5-finger rhino thrust. First and foremost.
The fingers. Because I'm on camera. Yeah, I forgot.
So, one is like the video. 2 is subscribe. 3 is hit that bell.
Ting.
Ring a ding ding. 4 is share. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And
all platforms.
If you want to support us, we are currently on Locals. And then last but not least,
number 5.
Last but not least, number 5.
5.
If we've discussed anything that you want to comment about, that you could relate to, or that you just want to give your own input on.
Right. Or if you have any suggestions.
Yes, let us know. Because we did have a wide range of topics, both random and the interview. And shout out how you feel about James from an interviewee perspective.
And let me know how you feel about the old videos compared to now. Like, let me know how I've changed and my progress, please.
Amen to that. Yeah. So like we always do, I just want to say it's a pleasure. I was glad to spend
always
these last 3 hours with you, 2 hours on camera, and LLPH and
Cadoodle. Hey man, stay black. When I say that, I mean not stay black as in the race, like stay black as in true to yourself, stay bold, stay beautiful, stay you, stay true.
And stay white too.
Yeah, for sure.
Get that little
for sure
yang in.
Yes. What else? Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay, bet.
Just a friendly reminder, guys. Hit the subscribe button in this corner. And then for the newest video. Then for the most recommended. And then for our famous dick pic.